we start this relationship and stuff because I want to sort of the back half of this thing talk about the a little bit of the industry stuff and a little bit of the kind of the context around some of the things that got us going and stuff. So from that, I reach out to you. I find you through a couple of different channels. I think I started actually with John Miller and asked him, I need a female designer and stuff. I had gone through a couple of different iterations with this idea of how do we bring a women's line to the marketplace, having it be in the industrial camp, but be on brand. And it was like that chasm between the two of them was so, to me, it felt so wide because the general norm for our industry is downsize it, right? I think it's called shrink it and pink it is the thing. I hate that on every front possible.
You told me that. I was like, what?
Yeah, it drives me crazy.
You actually say that?
Yeah, it's like, well, it's like we are in a place where, again, nothing against the commercial world and the consumer world and stuff. But if this stuff has to perform and save lives, one of the biggest aspects of that type of equipment is the fit.
Yeah.
And so it can't be understated and ignored when you're considering what you're doing and why you're doing it.
Exactly.
So it was like, I took a couple of stabs at it as a guy and realized almost immediately, I have no idea. Like if you I thought yoga pants were easy. I was like, dude, it's just stretchy material. This isn't a big deal. You make it whatever you want.
It's fine.
We don't have that same luxury in our space.
No.
So it was like, okay, this is gonna fit right.
Yeah.
And to figure out or to learn so quickly, and I think to have at least enough self-awareness that like we don't know what we're doing. We need to go find somebody. And then to have it work its way through to land with you finally was like, oh, sweet. Now we're in the zone here. and there was obviously a few other pieces that got us connected too, which was cool. But I think just going through that process with you and learning about women's garments is awesome.
Yeah.
And I think what was one of the coolest things about it was just seeing it be enabled across other features, even into like the men's line and stuff, and being like, this is a great idea. Like we didn't think about this. And that's what I like about the forward facing side of it. But I mean, I guess when I look at the women's stuff, like women are starting to move into the industry more, which is, I think, exciting. One, I think cost of living is forcing it to some degree, which is crazy. But I also think that trades in this new economy are going to be the gold of industry.
Yeah.
So as women move into it and stuff, I think for us, so much of it is predicated on obviously storytelling.
Yeah.
There's brand equity there that's associated with it as well. But then it's also what I've discovered through the journey is that it's not about me or my family or anybody else. It's about like us bringing high quality product to the marketplace that actually works.
Yeah.
And finding ways to curate the right people in the room that have that same integrity and that same intentionality around it. So that's where I think that with you, it was like, oh, you get it. Like you got it right away. You were willing to go with us down this path to say, oh, okay. Like, yeah, I see what you guys are going for now, and bring some great ideas and initiation to that stuff. So what would you say would be like maybe one of the more challenging parts of industrial workwear, qualified worker apparel? And what were some of the things that maybe you didn't expect to appreciate about the journey?
Well, I think a lot of what probably the hardest thing was the technical aspect of the fabrication that you guys have to use. There's no give. There's no stretch or anything you can sort of manipulate for the fit. So you really have to build the fit into the garment.
Right. Yeah.
And that
we don't have a lot of elasticity.
Yeah. So that was something. And beyond that, the woman who's going to be wearing it is going to be moving constantly. So there's no it has to be very easy to wear. So not having stretch and knowing that the person's is wearing it to move, I think added a little bit of more consideration on my part. And then I think a lot of it was figuring out different tricks within the garment that we could utilize to accommodate a wide range of body sizes. Because, what you were showing me from other competitors didn't offer the same fit details or structure that I think women really look for. So I think building those two things in together and having those considerations for the actual person that's wearing the garment, that's always been something that I've been trained to do in my career, like different brands have different customers. So I have to adjust my design style for that customer. And it's not personal. It's not me. So, I think I was really wanting to take into consideration the women that are going to be wearing it and how they would feel. I think it was incredibly important that you use the same colors and the same fabrics so that women felt respected in the workplace and felt like they weren't being called out as a woman.
Yeah.
And I think it was a little shocking to me that was happening.
That like these pastel colors were being used in women's apparel.
Like when I've told,
it's ridiculous.
Yeah, when I've told former colleagues about this work or this project, I mentioned that, and they're all just like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah, like I can't imagine being a woman that would want to get into this field for various reasons, want to be on a job site and be visually called out before they're even met, or they've met their team, or they've commanded that respect that they deserve." So one of the things that I thought was really great was that first off, you having the self-awareness that you need somebody that has experience doing this and to take it seriously, not just shrink it and pink it, like you said. And then to really think about the women that are out there in the field doing the work that you guys are protecting them against. So I thought I was just really inspired by the mission of what you were trying to accomplish. So I was really proud to come on board.
Well, it was awesome. It was so much fun. I think that Jay and I were talking about it, was on the creative side of it. We were talking about like what were some of our favorite projects and stuff. And I initially said like the Black Series stuff was fun because we did so much like kind of campy, funny stuff with it.
Yeah. There's humor built into it.
Yeah. And then, but then he might have brought it up, or I can't remember, but it was, well, what about the women's line? I was like, dude, the women's line freaking rips. Like it was one of those things where when we put that out, I was just like,
proud.
Yeah. Like threw the ace of spades on the table and was like, yeah, we got him, dude. Like I was like, this is awesome.
You invested the time and effort and the resources into making it look as good as you could. And I think the reaction to it feels really positive, and like you're creating a real niche in the market that wasn't addressed.
The greatest affirmation that I got in that journey was, obviously there was a lot of high points to it, but the picture I got from a very, very high profile client and their girls wearing it and how much they appreciated it was the coolest thing to see. I mean, it's always cool when you see product in final iterations of it and stuff, and to see it, printed in a catalog and stuff. But really, the beauty of it is when you see it on the actual worker, not the talent, but the worker that's out doing it, and you know that fits right.
Yeah,
they're comfortable. They're going to have a better work experience because of that, and it makes every bit of a year and a half, whatever that journey timeline was, completely worth it.
Yeah.
So.